Bricebeck, we appreciate you being there. Today, 7 unions filed suit claiming Act 10 is unconstitutional. It's the latest legal challenge to a state law passed by Republicans.
Now, back in 2011, months-long protests erupted in the state capitol building and throughout the state when Act 10 was passed, effectively stripping public unions of the right to collectively bargain. But now it's the latest target for Democrats, now that there's a liberal majority on the state Supreme Court.
CBS 58's Adam Reif live in our newsroom tonight to break down exactly what's at stake. Adam.
Natalie Jessup, good evening. Act 10 effectively ends collective bargaining for public unions, but police, fire, and other public safety unions are exempt. Today's legal challenge claims that difference between the two violates the state's equal protection guarantee. So those public unions are again taking aim at Act 10.
It doesn't give us a seat at the table, and we're not able to negotiate for these larger demands in the same way.
Since 2011, Wisconsin's public unions can only negotiate over base wage increases no greater than inflation. That law effectively ended collective bargaining on other issues like health care, retirement, and time off.
The pain was personal, right? As an educator who was in the classroom working through that time.
Then Governor Scott Walker's signature achievement sparked months of protest throughout the state and thrust Wisconsin's labor fight into the national spotlight.
The kitchen table conversations were around tight budgets becoming tighter.
Act 10 has withstood several legal challenges over the years, but those were in front of conservative courts. But the state's political climate shifted drastically this August when Justice Janet Protasewicz flipped the bench to a liberal majority.
The time for educators and other public workers is now.
Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos said on social media the repeal would, quote, bankrupt schools and local governments right after we gave them an historic funding increase. He called it, quote, another attempt by liberal special interest groups to undo the law to please their donors. A repeal would impact all public sector unions. Educators say it would strengthen their schools.
The opportunity to have those rights back will give educators the opportunity to be the best advocates they can be for their students.
Teaching assistant Nina Denny said Act 10 keeps members of her union from negotiating contracts with their university. So paid family leave is not guaranteed, meaning members have to rely on the leniency of advisors.
Which is really hard. Folks have had to leave their programs over this and have had to deal with a lot of discrimination.
Some recent challenges, like the redistricting case, went straight to the Supreme Court, but the Act 10 lawsuit will start at the county level. That means it could take more than a year to reach the high court in a final ruling. Here in the newsroom, Adam Reif, CBS 58 News.